Howdy. Have you ever been working in a toxic work environment and then were able to leave that environment because you got a show on HGTV? And then when you were ready to come back to work, did not go back to that place, but instead took a different job where it turned out that you were hired illegally? Well, I have. Let me tell you about it. Okay, so because I tend to be a long talker, I'm going to break this up so I don't have to edit it later, and I'm just going to pause when I need to, but let me tell you this story. So after moving out of the house for 3 months, I applied for a position that was open to registered nurses, and it was newly open to registered nurses because it had been previously reserved only for nurse practitioners and above. This was a medical procedure, and there was legislation going through my state that would have allowed me as an RN to perform this procedure. And so this company hired me, sent me off to training, and then I started working in the local clinic. The local clinic was 3 10-hour shifts, which is a little bit more than 4 10-hour shifts, which is a little bit more than 3 12-hour shifts, but it was still manageable for my, my home life and that kind of thing. I worked that job for 364 days. Now, in the meantime, the nurse practitioners at that job were told by this company that they would not be losing their job just because RNs were being hired. That turned out to be a lie. And so what these nurse practitioners were offered was a severance pay. I mean, it wasn't really an offer. They were being laid off, and they were given like a couple months to find a new job and then had to sign NDAs in order to get their severance pay. A few months go by, and then right before they were supposed to have their last day at work, or their last couple weeks at work, the RNs, including the RN who had been in the clinic working for 1 week, we were all called in at the end of one of the business days and told that we were being let go after an internal legal review. Now, in order to get our severance pay, we were let go immediately. The NPs were given time to find a new job, but because we were illegally hired, they could not do that for us. And in order to get the severance pay, which was essentially about a month's worth of pay, we had to sign NDAs, and also they didn't pay out my PTO. So after that, I took another clinic position, except for this one was 5 days a week, but I still thought it would be fine because no weekends, no holidays, and it'd be great. Well, it wasn't great. I wasn't happy. I was starting to get really, really depressed, and it just didn't end well. So we had some savings in crypto. We had about 10,000 XRP that my husband bought back in 2017. And I thought, well, let's just relax, sit back, let me be the mom I want to be, let me, do more cooking, let me be the wife I want to be, let me start gardening and just figure out what I want to do. And I decided I would try to find a way to earn income working from home. And I became a licensed insurance agent. I looked into truck dispatching, because my job in the U.S. Air Force Reserve was logistics, and I understand logistics. And before that, in the Army National Guard, I drove trucks, so I understood trucks. But leads are a problem in sales. I don't know if you know that. And eventually I just realized I was just going to have to find a nursing job that was going to work for me. So I went to temp agencies, and I've had good interviews. I've had great interviews with people who said they would like to hire me. But because, not temp agencies, like travel agencies for contract work. So it's typically like 13 weeks, which I thought would be great. Work 13 weeks, make great money, have some time at home. You can balance it. Well, because I've been out of the hospital for 2 years, they just really don't have the time to do the normal orientation, which I think is totally understandable, but that's where I was. So by the by, while I'm looking for these jobs, I find this Baby of the Year contest, and the prize is $25,000. I'm like, okay, well, that would actually, at least allow me to have more time to figure this out without having a complete mental breakdown. Unfortunately, what I didn't know about the contest is that it's not just voting. It's not just a popularity contest, which I thought it was, but I was like, maybe I can get my pocket people to help me out, right? But it's not just that. In order to win, you really have to buy the votes. And I don't know if that money goes to the prize money or not. I don't know. But it's basically rich people buying their way into a photo shoot for a magazine. And I don't care about the photo shoot. I just need the money, right? But I definitely do not want friends, family, random strangers buying votes in a non-guaranteed way that I'm going to win this contest and get what I need. So where we are now is that I did have an interview with a company that actually did offer me a position at the same time that I took that first clinic position. I applied for a PRN position with them and instead opted for the full-time work, even though I wasn't sure that was what I wanted. But it was a great job, and honestly, I loved it. I would still be doing it today if it wasn't entirely illegal. And I had an interview with this company 2 days ago, and I will be shadowing with them next week. I'm feeling really positive about it. I think it's going to be great, and I think it will actually be a job where I can fulfill some purpose and do the work that God wants me to do. And I kind of feel like maybe not going God's way resulted in the last 2 years of my life. So the outlook is positive, but the thing is, I shadow next week, and I told them I could have a start date of October 1st, just to kind of get my family back into, the prospect of me doing rotating days, nights, working 12 hours, 3 days a week, and all that stuff when I've been home for 6 months. And so I'm down to about, unless the price changes with XRP, I'm down to about like the last $400 and just short of $450 that I have. Now, I do have my car payment paid through October 17th, and I did get my student loans paused so I don't have to pay them, because they'll do that for you if you're making no money whatsoever. And even though I don't have a lot in living expenses, I do have the HELOC that we took out in order to do the renovation with the HGTV, which I love. You're seeing some of it here, not that much of it, honestly. But anyway, I love my house. I love my kitchen. But for the first time this past month, I finally fell behind on the payment. And I know you don't get to do that too many times before they start trying to take away your house. Now, kind of like rewinding a little bit, one of the things that one of the constructive criticisms that I've always received is that I need to ask for help when I need it. So, like, this is me doing that. This is actually therapy, and a little bit embarrassing. You're probably wondering, like, what does your husband do? Well, he's been working for himself for the last 17 years. He has a great business. Obviously, when you are self-employed, some years are great and some years aren't so great, but his business is heavily dependent on the economy. And I don't know if I need to tell you, the economy hasn't been great. I thought about it for a while, and this is what I'm doing. I'm canceling the booty call. That's baby of the year, not an actual booty. I don't care. I don't care about the contest. I do not want to ask for people to send money out of pocket. I'm not doing a GoFundMe because I know pretty much everybody's a little bit hard up. But here is what I can do. Okay, I went ahead and did the math, and here's a way that I can minimally ask for help. I need 0.05 Bitcoin. That's what I'm asking for. And if I wanted, that would like help me so that I could make it. But if I wanted to make it like none of this ever happened, I need 0.22 Bitcoin. Okay, so I'm not going to tell people exactly what to send. I'm not going to put a goal out there. What I am going to do is put a wallet, probably my Ledger cold storage wallet address, in the comments, and just leave this video open and ask people to share it, because whether I need 5 people to send me 0.01 Bitcoin or 1 person to send me 0.05 Bitcoin, doesn't matter. I know that there are kind and generous people out there who for whom 0.01, 0.05 Bitcoin is not an existential loss. And if you can't do that, I don't want you to do that. But what I do want you to do is please pray for me, because I do believe in the power of prayer. And then just please share this and try to get it out there. And then what I will do, great, this flies. Then what I will do is put an update when I God help me, have made it to a place where I don't really think I need anything anymore. But I'll still leave this video up because some people like to be extra nice, and I'm just not going to turn that down. Please don't send an entire Bitcoin, or please do what you want, but that's what I need is 0.05 Bitcoin. So I really appreciate you paying attention to this video that was still almost 10 minutes long, and I would so much appreciate your shares and your prayers. I hope you have a great rest of your day.